Welcome back to Mastering Menopause. Today is definitely going to be a different kind of episode. I don't have any structure or notes for this. I just wanted to tell my story and my history around alcohol and how I've been able to reframe my thinking around alcohol. I am 57 and it has been a huge part of my life. So I don't really know where to start, but I guess we start with the beginning. So I grew up in San Diego, California, and we used to go to beach parties all the time. And so when I was 13, I had my first, I wouldn't say my first, because I think my dad let me try his Bacardi and Tab before. But the first time that I had my experience with drinking, and we were just drinking beer by the bonfire. And then that just became a habit of what we did. It was just what we did. And so it was very much socially acceptable. Alcohol still is. It's for a lot of people, it's just what you do. There is no harm in it. You go out on the weekends and you have a few drinks. And so that definitely evolved in my life. And I will say has never really been a problem. When I had dating and the whole scene, when I met my husband and we were going out, and then I had kids, and so slowed my roll a little bit. But then it got to where the kids were just a little bit older, and I found myself where I was having almost a bottle of wine a night. And then I started finishing off a whole bottle of wine. And this was at the end of the day, I would have a glass of wine around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then I would be wired. And I would just be cleaning the house, getting stuff ready for the next day. And it was just the momness, being so dead ass tired all day, running around doing all this stuff. And then finally, when it was time for me to sit down and relax, I would have a glass of wine, and then I literally would vacuum, I would dust, I would have another glass of wine, and then I would have one more so that I could then go to sleep. And so that very much became my pattern. And then I started realizing hey, I'm drinking a whole bottle of wine. So that's when I started to think hey, you know what? Let's get this under control. And then I started creating rules for myself, right? No drinking during the week. And here's the thing. Since I was 19, I was a bartender. Or a server, but mostly a bartender. And so it was normal that you would go out on a Tuesday. If you work Tuesday night, we're going out for drinks after. And so very much that was a big part of my life, was that kind of lifestyle. So I didn't think anything was wrong with it, to be honest, until I started realizing okay, I'm polishing a bottle of wine. So that's when I created rules and started looking at this. And I just know for myself, I don't have that shut off switch. I definitely envy people that are oh yeah, I can just take it or leave it. Because if I have one, I'm going to have three. So that very much for me is part of my behavior. I really wanted to get to a place where I could just take it or leave it. I very much wanted to be that person who was you know what? I don't feel like drinking tonight. Even if I didn't feel like drinking, I would have a drink. So very much, I feel like it had a hold on me. Again, I don't feel, it wasn't a problem per se. And I guess saying that, I realized if you think you have a problem, then you probably do. And it wasn't until it was my stress coping mechanism, to be honest. And then when I was really going through perimenopause, I had no idea how alcohol was going to affect me. I could be legless and speaking in tongues after 2 glasses of wine, or I could sit and drink 6 glasses of wine and be fine. It was just really weird. I also knew this wasn't serving me either. So I would meticulously count my calories, but then after 9 o'clock, hey, you know what? These calories don't count. So very much ignorance is bliss, and putting my head in the sand as far as those calories go. When I finally threw a Hail Mary and hired a coach to help me with my weight loss, one of the things he asked is, what's something that you don't want to give up? And I said, I really don't want to give up wine. And he was like, all right, that's cool. You don't have to. And I was like, really? Okay. So you're hired. I did lose in 5 months. I lost 20 pounds and I had a glass of wine every night and 2 glasses of wine on the weekends. And so we had a 5-2 strategy. And a 5-2 strategy just means you're going to have less calories during the week and then two higher calorie days, which I took those to be on the weekends. And I'm not embarrassed to admit, like, those calories went to alcohol. So I would have 2 glasses of wine with those extra calories. When I say you can lose weight and drink alcohol, like, you absolutely can. And I did. But I also knew that, like, alcohol wasn't serving me. So when I reached my goal, I actually did a photo shoot and just still continued to drink. And that was when I was 50. That was in 2020. I'm 57 now. Still have been drinking this entire time. And then I started getting sober curious. So I want to say 3 years ago, I did my first dry January and I white knuckled that thing, but it was can I even do this? Can I give up alcohol for 30 days? And I did it, but I was miserable. I would say cranky, bored, like I didn't know what to do with myself. And I was like, okay, like, all right, did it. Check that off the box. And then, or check the box on that. And then the year after that, I did it again, but I had a little bit of a different mindset. Like, all right, let me just replace alcohol with something different. I'm talking fancy, like, non-alcoholic drinks. And so I did that. It made things a little bit easier, but it still wasn't addressing the kind of the lifestyle around that, or I should say the mindset and the behaviors. And so last year, and I just started following, like, sober curious people because for me, I don't want to give up alcohol entirely, but I do not want alcohol to have that grip on me. I want to be that person that can take it or leave it, but I still was not at that point. And so I swear, every time I podcast, my cat gets her zoomies. I started taking things a little bit more serious and then realized, like, you have to change your mindset. You have to be ready and willing to change and not just do it to see if you can do it. So where am I going with this? I very much wanted to be that person that could just take it or leave it. I know I keep saying that, but to truly just be at peace with it and not want it. So that has been my word for this year, has been intention, and just really looking at things that are serving me, what is serving me, what is not. And obviously alcohol is not serving me, like serving a purpose. And so I was like, you know what, we need to explore more on this. And so just been getting really intentional about in journaling, what does alcohol do for me? And what is it not doing for me? And so writing down those things, the pros and cons. It's funny, right? One of the biggest reasons is stress relief and then sleep. And so that was like the 2 biggest reasons of why I have a drink at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is wine o'clock. I know that it's 9 o'clock because it's like time for a glass of wine. And so for me, this is very much for me to wind down and then get ready for sleep. But with all the research that I've been doing, that is the opposite of what is happening. It is interfering with your sleep. It just causes you to be stressed out the next day. So this was a pro and a con. And so started making that list for myself about what am I getting from alcohol? What's the thing? What has its hold on me? And so that's when I really started going into the mindset shifts. and I went to Sedona. There was a retreat that I went to in Sedona, and we did a lot of like rewiring the brain. And so one of the things that I wanted to do, so it was like a business retreat, but it was also like, what are some things that you need to let go of? How are you going to up level yourself? And that was very much like my theme too, going into, it was like, I need an upgrade. I just felt a little stuck, and I just was looking for an upgrade, and I knew alcohol was a part of that. And so that was a theme for me. That's what I wrote down. And then I started. So it was just like the timing of it was just, it very much lined up. So after I got back from that retreat, that's when I started my getting ready for photo shoot ready. I have 8 weeks to get photo shoot ready. That was at that time. That was at the very beginning of May. And so here we are, I'm in week 6. And so one of the things was like, I am going to have to take out the alcohol. I just don't have the calories for that. And again, like very intentional about my calories, but also just rewiring what is alcohol doing for me. Like in this phase, like it would definitely be it would be a detriment. And so since then, I've been doing more work on that and just realizing I don't need the alcohol. And something just shifted in my brain. I don't know if it was the vortex in Sedona or what, or just me finally coming to terms with this is not serving me. I know, like I already knew that it wasn't, but just having can I give up alcohol for 8 weeks? Like, absolutely. I'm going to have to. It's just a no, we're not even thinking about it. It's not even a thought. And that has like completely changed the mindset for sure, but also can I do this and not want alcohol? And going through this aggressive protocol and just really looking at it more from I wouldn't say it's a health phase, but the foods that I'm having are so intentional. I am getting in 120 grams of protein, and the rest of my calories are very intentional, getting in fiber and vegetables and fruits. There is no room for popcorn and chocolate and alcohol. And so I've been pulling out all of those processed foods and really just cleaning up and thriving, to be honest. Like the first week was hard. It was low calories. It still is low calories. And it was hard to make that adjustment. But as I'm going through, it has become much easier. My hunger is not, you would think I'd be hungry being on such low calories. And what happens is that just gets turned off. And what else has gotten turned off is that call, that 9 o'clock. That is not a signal for me anymore. So that is shut off. I don't want, when I have like higher calories and I can have a refeed, like my first thought isn't, oh God, now I can have wine. So normally that would be exactly what I would be doing. And don't get me wrong, I did have some calories. I did have some alcohol when I had a couple of my refeeds, but that wasn't like my first thought to have. To be honest, there wasn't even like a bunch of things I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to have this and this. Like I didn't have popcorn. I didn't have chocolate. I think of my grilled cheese. I'm like, I really want a grilled cheese. So it has completely just rewired my brain, but also my body and my cravings. So this has been an unexpected benefit of going through this aggressive protocol, is really resetting habits. And this is what my clients see as well. So my clients once a month, we do a 2-week rapid fat loss protocol. And it just really highlights where are some of those calories coming in? What can you do without? And so they're seeing this as well on a level for themselves. And so I have, 12 clients that are going through this right now. They just finished up their first week. One is down 4 pounds, two are down 4 pounds. Another one is down 2.6. Another was down 3 pounds. This is in their first week. But I also have calls with them. I'm going to have a call with them in about 15 minutes. And just going over what is shifting in their mindset for them. So it's not just about the weight loss. Yes, we're sharing those wins and drops in inches, but also what are the mindset shifts that are happening. Because I always say, you can go through this protocol, but I said, but let it change you. Let it be a reflection on what are your habits and let this process change you. And so for me, I've found this has definitely been a catalyst to my thoughts around alcohol. And just finally at that place where I can take it or leave it. As I will say, if you have a weight loss goal, can you lose weight drinking alcohol? Yes, you absolutely can. But alcohol is very much high in calories. There is no nutritional value to it. Or like red wine's good for you. Come on. Like it's not, it really is not. You're not, the benefits that you're getting from red wine are not physical. There's no rhyme or reason that says that red wine is good for you. So I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole. But I'm just really excited that this has been one of the benefits is just having that release from that wanting to have a drink. It was like a lot of the times it's should I have a drink? Should I not have a drink? Like, why not? There's no reason, like, why not? I don't really have anything to do tomorrow. There's no reason not to have a couple glasses of wine. So that was very much my thinking. And now it's like, why? So I'm not going to say I don't drink, right? If I'm going to go out, yes, I'm going to have a couple glasses of wine for sure. When I go out to dinner with my husband, do I enjoy a nice glass of wine? Yes, absolutely, I do. I feel much more at peace with that, knowing that I can take it or leave it, and finally being that person that is just showing up with intention. Does this serve me right now? For the most part, the answer is probably going to be no, but sometimes it's going to be yes. So I hope this is helpful. I don't think that I'm alone in this with alcohol. It's very much socially acceptable. And it's weird, like when you aren't drinking, people are like, oh, what's wrong? What's going on? Oh, do you have a problem? No, I'm just not drinking. So it's who you surround yourself with as well. Being on Cape Cod, it's very much a resort town, and that's just what you did. Like almost everybody drank, but maybe that's because I was just surrounding myself with the whole restaurant industry. And so when I moved to Utah a couple years ago, now we're in a Mormon community where hardly anybody drinks. Like the Mormons, they don't drink. And so there's a little bit of a culture shock just surrounding myself in this environment where for the most part people don't drink. And now I will say there are a few bars in town. People do drink here, but that's not the culture where everybody drinks. So I think I will wrap it up there. But I just wanted to share that experience and just know that you can, if you want to quit drinking or taper down, just break that hold, that there are some things that you can do. I don't know if just like giving it up is necessarily the thing. I think you have to do some inner work and be clear on why. With everything, what is your why? And just know that is absolutely possible, even for somebody who's been drinking for quite a long time. All right, we will leave with that. And I would love to hear some comments. Share your experience with me. Yeah, send me an email or reach out to me on my socials, and I will talk to you next Thursday. Bye.